This is The Beat, a conversation about the Charleston County Sheriff's Office and our community. I'm your host, Oshi Alford. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Beat. I'm your hostess, Oshi, and with me today I have a very special guest.
Barry Goldstein. I'm a detective with the Sheriff's Office, Charleston County.
And Detective Goldstein, today we're going to be talking about some cold case files that we have.
Yes.
So what makes a case a cold case?
There's really no definition of what a cold case is. When a detective begins an investigation, and I'll talk about a homicide, begins an investigation, he or she will work the case until they run out of leads. Mm-hmm. When they run out of leads, they'll continue on with this, whatever they can do, this case, or they'll go on to another case. When a new lead comes in, they'll go back to the original case and work on that case to try to solve it and fulfill it for the victim and the family. Like I said, cases are constantly coming in, so these detectives have the responsibility of investigating the cases to the best of their ability, along with other assignments they have. They work them as hard as they can, build them as best as they can, the case, so that they can fulfill their responsibility and get into the courtroom and leave it up to a jury.
Mm-hmm. So what we might consider a cold case is still going to be an ongoing case. We just might not have any current or up-to-date leads that would help us continue the investigation at that current moment.
That's correct. There's no definition of a cold case. Mm-hmm. That's a piece of terminology that was developed many years ago. I do not know where it came from, but exactly what it says. The case has gone cold. The detective has exhausted all the leads. Here at the Charleston County Sheriff's Office, the cases are constantly being worked. That's my responsibility along with other responsibilities, but I'm responsible for any older cases that are presently not active within the office.
So would that mean your specialty is more on the older cases, like the cold case, so speaking? You
could say that. Any one of our detectives in this agency can work a cold case.
So what is your first step when you start on a new cold case?
My first step would be the organization of the file, where it's workable for me. Then I will contact a victim's family and let them know that I'm actively working it and try to get some ideas. A lot of things happen over the years where individuals, whether it's family members or witnesses, may not call the police. They've heard something out in public and they never thought of calling a policeman. Or they called and maybe the detective is no longer with the agency and they've moved on. So I try to get an idea of any new fresh leads before I start getting into it. So when I'm reading the file and becoming a part of it, I know what to look for.
Okay, so I know we've got a couple that we're going to talk about today. I wanted to start with the disappearance of Tina Snipes. That was in Edisto, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so I did a little bit of digging to try to find out what I could about Miss Snipes and background. All I really got, there's not a whole lot of information for either of the cases that we're going to be talking about today, but I did see that she was employed cleaning condos out on Edisto. She lived in a trailer out there, like out in the woods. She was a frequent customer of the Easy Horizon Mart at the gas station, where she would frequently have a cup of coffee and kind of hang out. And I saw in one news article that they talked about her moving here from, I believe, South Georgia. She moved to Edisto after her divorce and was living out in that trailer. And she does have children. She has 2 children who have survived her. And her sister runs a Facebook page hoping to get more evidence of this ongoing case of her being missing. So where was she last seen? Let's start with that.
August the 15th, 2018 would have been the last time she was seen. And this would have been at her residence of 7691 Maxey Road. And Maxey Road is a dirt road which leads off of Highway 174 to Cedar Hall. Right there at the foot of Maxey Road is the Horizon gas station, Easy Mart. She would get her ride each day from the Zippy Mart and go to Edisto Island and clean condominiums, as you said. Her ride would drop her off back at the Easy Mart, where she would talk to people that she knew there. Then she would walk home up this dirt road, and she lived in a very, very small trailer, and that was her life. There was no television, no community. She had a cell phone, but really she had a simple life. She was a hard-working woman, and then she disappeared one night, approximately between 8 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock at night. We went there. We were dispatched there on August the 17th. I went out there, which was a Friday afternoon, and I found signs of some type of foul play. Something took place. She did not voluntarily leave her little trailer. Myself and other detectives went out there and canvassed the area. It's a very, very close-knit community, and we would get bits and pieces from people on what happened to her. And again, we're talking foul play, so I'll just keep it general. There was a foot search done by our search and rescue for Charleston County. The dive team went out, checked the waterways, and we haven't had any luck in recovering Tina Snipes if she's deceased. Okay, she may still be alive. I don't know, because we don't have anything to tell us either way. But we're working this. I'm working this along with my other detectives as a homicide. Not that it is, but we put in more. There's more things we can do. We don't work them any harder if it's a homicide or a missing person. But when you have somebody missing for a long period of time with no contact with the family, even though she was a loner, still she would contact somebody. That's only natural. So we left it as a missing person, and we continue to work it. At the time of her disappearance, she was married. Her husband was away. He wasn't away voluntarily. And he was incarcerated. All right. And she still had contact with him. So she was a person that had a husband. And when he was released for whatever he did from Department of Corrections, she was gone. So we look at aspects of his life. Was there somebody that wanted to bother her because of him?
Right.
There's so many directions we go, and people are reluctant to cooperate with the police, not because they don't want to. They're in fear.
Right.
They have to testify in court. That's how our court system works.
Well, in particular, in cases where you suspect foul play, then they may fear that for themselves as well.
That's correct. That's correct.
So when you say that there's evidence of foul play, are you able to expand a little bit more on that?
No.
Okay.
The reason why I won't expand, because it's part of the crime.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of the crime. And I want to just explain that. I don't want to give you an answer for a no. But if it's a part of the incident, we don't release any facts of a crime, because all this is used later on if we end up in the criminal justice system.
No, and that's fine. It's good to know that, because I know in a lot of situations, particularly as an outsider or civilian looking in, you often wonder, okay, well, I know there's more details, but why don't I get to know more details? And it's good to know that it's because it is for the privacy of the victim and also for the investigation itself. You can't release too much details for fear of corrupting that investigation.
Yes.
Right. So that's just one of those scenarios.
Our evidence was at her trailer. So that would be her last location that I would document in the criminal case if we ended up going to court for any reason.
Okay. And I know that there was some footage from the Horizon gas station as far as what she was last seen wearing, a tank top, sunglasses, flip-flops.
Yes. You investigate what you have.
Mm-hmm.
As an investigator, you have gut feelings.
Mm-hmm.
But you do not use those gut feelings in a case.
Right.
It's only what you can prove.
Mm-hmm.
And with this case, we have a person missing for 5 years.
Yep. So August 15th. And yeah, that would be 5 years.
That's correct. Mm-hmm. And she has not contacted anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible, but very, very seldom ever does it happen like that. So that's why, as a detective, we investigate it with foul play, and we work it as a possible homicide.
Right now, we've kind of reached where we have workable information. And so we would reach out to the public in that case to ask if they had any tips, any information, anything to contact us, right?
I will give you my email address, which is B Goldstein, BGOLDSTEIN @charlestoncounty.org, or my phone number 843-554-2241. Feel free to contact me by email or telephone. I will get back to you. Everything pertaining to this case, to the best of my ability, will be kept confidential, unless if we have to appear in court, you'll be aware of that this may happen. But feel free to call me with any leads you have.
And hopefully we can get some closure for the family members and for the public as well, as far as where Tina Snipes is, or hopefully we can find her. That would be the best case scenario. So I wanted to thank you, Detective Goldstein, for coming on and speaking with me a little bit more about this cold case in particular. And hopefully we can get some closure for the family as well as for the public and the community involved. And best case scenario, I hope we find Tina Snipes. So again, if you guys have any information, please reach out to us. Please reach out specifically to Detective Goldstein at bgoldstein@charlestoncounty.org, or his phone number. Both of those are going to be linked in this video. And again, as he had said, those will remain anonymous in case, or unless it needs to go to court, in which case you guys would discuss that. But thank you again, and this has been The Beat. This has been The Beat, a conversation about the Charleston County Sheriff's Office and our community. I'm your host, Oshi Alford. Look for future episodes by following the Charleston County Sheriff's Office on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts.